Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Business Saturday Shout Out. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and I am super excited to share with you today the two remarkable women that I have as guests. And this month is Women's History Month. So all month long, I wanted to highlight really powerful women making history in their own business and in their lives and the lives of others. So it's, sorry, I just looked, someone was calling me. Everybody knows at 3 p.m. Eastern time, I am live on a Saturday. So I'm here with you. So this is Small Business Saturday Shout Out. So thank you so much for joining me today. And if you are live on Facebook, thank you so much. I want to invite you to actually go to our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/c/Alicia Couri. And please subscribe to the channel so that anytime we have either a live video or I post the podcast or other really interesting content. I have some really great content coming up soon. You won't miss out because sometimes I don't always post everything I do on social media, even though I do post quite a bit of it. So come, subscribe to that YouTube channel. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube that are not yet in the Small Business Saturday Shout Out group, come on over to Facebook. What are you waiting for? Come meet some really amazing business professionals that you can mix and mingle with. So come on over, facebook.com/groups/SBSSO. I made it easy for you. You used to have to spell out. You had to spell out Small Business Saturday Shout Out. Now you just have to put SBSSO. And we have some really exciting things coming up in the group. We are doing master classes this year. Super, super excited for those master classes. We've done 3 of them so far. If you've missed them, they're going to be up in the group until tomorrow night at midnight. So go catch up on them. The first master class was how do you hire overseas professional help for your business. So how can you get either and I'm not talking about VAs, I'm talking about like a business manager or a chief of staff for your business, someone who is really operating your business at a high level. How do you find that person? The second masterclass was all about structuring your business, making sure that you have the right business structure. For those of you who have nonprofits and those of you who are starting off a business, do I need a DBA? Do I need an LLC? So my guest there, she's an expert, Angel. She went through it all, really opened even my eyes about a lot of things. Do you need a corporate structure? What type of corporate structure you need? That's in the group. And these are all free masterclasses, by the way. And then the third one we did on getting government contracts. What do you need to do as a business owner before you answer an RFP, a request for proposal? And I say all this to say that our next masterclass is this Monday, and it's all about social selling. How do you really capture social media to sell, to bring in leads, to get more clients? How can you utilize social media more effectively to get leads and get clients? So my guest on that masterclass is Lorenzo Johnson, and he is going to share with us all about how to get and close more clients using social media. If you're B2B, how do you use LinkedIn more effectively? If you're B2C, how do you draw those customers? How do you really draw those customers in using Instagram, using Facebook without spending money on advertising? Guys, this is gold, free class. So join us 7 p.m. on Monday night, Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And it will be in the group for a few weeks, but it's always great to join live so that you can ask any questions that you'd like to ask. Now, what else am I? One final thing about this Small Business Saturday Shout Out show that I want to share with you is, 2 things actually. First one is, how do you get a shout out on this show for you and your business? So first of all, you can book a time and come on like our guest has, and you can spend 15 to 20 minutes with me shouting out your business. That's one way. The second way is you can do a 30-second commercial for yourself. You can either submit a video, or you can come on live for 30 seconds and just talk about your your business. Come on live and talk about your business. And the third way, which is the easiest way to get a shout out, is do what my friend Andy just did. Hello, Alicia, it's Andy. Looking forward to the masterclass on Monday. Excellent. You do that. You write a comment, give me your name, your business name, and who you serve. And if the location is important, you can write the location down too. If you have brick and mortar, you might want to add the location in. But just write that in. And during each break, I will give you a shout out and let people know who you are and what your business is. 3 easy ways to get a shout out on Saturday during this show. So one last thing I want to share with you is this group is growing. The Small Business Saturday shout out community is growing. And I wanted to do something at the end of the quarter, which is have a happy hour cocktail networking mix and mingle so that we can start getting to know who's in the group. So on the 30th of March, we have in the group a save the date, March 30th from 6 to 8. We're going to do a happy hour networking event where we're going to get together on Zoom and we're going to meet each other. We're going to meet each other and start to network with each other, know what products and services each of us provide and how we can be a benefit to one another. How can I promote your business? How can you promote my business? How can I introduce you to someone? You know, let's use this community as a place where we can really build each other up and help each other grow. This entire year, and it's been exactly a year since the lockdown of COVID, has been devastating to the small business community. So my whole mission behind Small Business Saturday Shoutouts is to give you a voice, give you a platform, give you a space where you can share about yourself and your business. But also now let's take that a step further and let's also help one another on a deeper level. So having said all of that, I would love to bring on my very first guest. So hold on a second. Let me cue her up and get her here so that we can learn all about her mission and her purpose and what she's doing. Hello, everyone. Again, this is Alicia Couri, host of Small Business Saturday Shoutout. And my first guest is Jennifer Hockaday. I love saying her name, Jennifer. I met Jennifer back in January of this year at the Woman of Achievement pageant. Jennifer lives in Northern Nevada. She has an amazing significant other, Joel, who I also met. She has 3 daughters, Vegas, Brooklyn, and Paris, and was the first time ever in the Woman of Achievement pageant. Her platform is all about domestic violence support, resources, early identification, and intervention. And I am so excited to welcome to the show, Jennifer Hockaday. Hello, beauty queen.
Hi, Alicia.
It's so great to have you on because your platform is so important. Tell me a little bit about your experience with Woman of Achievement.
Well, I actually was asked to join the pageant in November of 2019 by she was the Mrs. Nevada at the time. We were judging a pageant together in Northern Nevada, and I had expressed some interest. And so she right away called the CEO, Marlena, and said, I've got somebody for you. And within 2 days, Marlena called me and I signed up. And so I actually had the benefit of holding the Ms. Elite Nevada title for over a year because of
COVID. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I actually signed up to do the pageant a week before the national pageant in 2019. So I had a lot of opportunities throughout the year to do certain events, but COVID hit. So I attended the pageant in January. I was actually scheduled. So thank you, Marlena, that she did that. Doing pageants since I was in high school. And this was my first national title that I ever won. And I have to say that I'm going to give a shout out to Women of Achievement. It is the very, very best pageant system that I have ever participated in.
Yay.
The women, the people that are involved with the pageant, we've all become sisters. You know, things going on in our lives, and we talk to each other about them. It's really a sisterhood, and the caliber of women that compete and that are involved with this pageant are second to none. Published authors, doctors, lawyers. I mean, people that there's a perfect picture right there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I'm so grateful and blessed that I was asked to be part of this organization and that now I'm a permanent member of this organization.
Yes, me too. So this is you and I, like,
That's
right before you did your talent. See, I know, you see, I was there watching you get crowned. Tell me about your platform, because I did it in the intro. I talked about it. Why are you so passionate about the domestic violence, early detection, getting help? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I had an abusive marriage, which I got out of. I didn't talk about it. My mom is one of my best friends, and she didn't even know the actual situation. I didn't want to talk about it. She knew something was weird, but she didn't know everything that was occurring. So the last time that I was physically abused was in October of 2016. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going to do that anymore. My children witnessed that. And you always think that people need to stay together for their kids, but it was becoming a very, very toxic environment. And so I left. I filed for an order of protection, and then I obtained an attorney and filed for a divorce. What I am trying to do with my platform is to let women know that, number one, it's okay to talk about your situation. And number two, that there are resources and help available out there. I always say, if I would have known now what I knew then, I would be in a very, very different situation than I was. And it's kind of ironic because, you know, domestic abuse doesn't just happen to a certain class or group of people. It can happen to anybody. And sometimes those of us that are on the inside don't see it as some other people on the outside might. Mm-hmm. And I was not aware of all the resources that were available because I didn't talk about it. So after I filed for divorce, I found out that there was volunteer attorneys for rural Nevadans, and they help and do pro bono work for women who are in a domestically violent relationship or an intimate partner relationship that's damaging. There are numerous support groups. There's hotlines. There's just so much available that people don't realize that it's. If I can help one person not have to, what I've had to go through. And, you know, it's really sad because I'm still having issues with my ex-husband, harassing, that type of stuff. And because we share children together, I still am forced to have some sort of communication with him.
How challenging, how challenging is it for you now to have to even talk about this? Like, because, you know, again, you're saying a lot of women live in the shadows of this. And even our comment earlier, Dora said that she knows many powerful women who still lived in abusive relationships. Luckily, most got out, and she's passionate about causes that support women. How difficult is it, even being out, still having to talk about it? How much courage does it take to still have to talk about it?
It takes a lot of courage, but I find it therapeutic. I find that being able to talk about my story and the potential to help other people not have to go through what I went through. It's funny because I look back. I said I've been doing pageants when I was in high school. I look back on some of the program books that my mom kept for me because she kept scrapbooks for every single time I ever won. And I look back and I see my platform was domestic violence. And then many years later, do I find myself in that situation?
Wow.
What ended up happening is, you know, every relationship that's going to have some violence attached to it is going to start in a certain way and progress. And that's what happened with mine. It started with, you know, the emotional issues, the making snide comments, the getting angry at me in a grocery store because I wanted to make a certain type of meal for a barbecue we were going to leaving me on the side of the road. And it just escalated, and it escalated into a physical violent relationship. And I can say that I put up with the emotional, which hurts way more, and it's with you forever. But the bruises that occur, they do go away. But it's a lot of people don't realize how the spectrum goes.
How it starts little, and it's almost undetected, because, you know, like they say, how do you boil a frog? You know, you don't drop it in scalding hot water, it'll jump out. If you just turn up the heat a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, it'll just sit in there and boil to death because it doesn't even feel the rise of the temperature. So it's that situation. So it's so important for women to know how to get help. Dora, again, had said that she used to, when she had her dental practice, she'd leave info cards for women in the bathroom of her practice. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dora, that the abuser controls in such a manipulated, calculated way, and it's so insidious. Toxic relationships happen to everyone. You know, you're not immune from it, but what are some of the signs that people should be aware of that they're in a toxic, abusive relationship?
People who, and I say this on either way, because there are men out there that are victims of abuse as well. They don't come out as much. They don't, I think it's a manly macho thing. But it can go on both sides. I'm just speaking from a woman's standpoint, but the more so of the alienation of a person, trying to make sure that you don't go talk to anybody else. And I think it's down inside of them. If they get out, they go talk to their friends, they spend time with their family, that they can actually tell somebody what's going on. If the abuser is even thinking that what they're doing is abuse, because a lot of times they don't, they have their narcissistic or sociopathic ideologies, and they don't realize that what they're doing is actually abuse. I think alienation is really the first part that starts with it. You know, extreme controlling behavior. You know, you can't go do this, you can't go do that. And that kind of goes along with, you know, who can you spend time with?
Even talk to.
Who can you talk to? What can you do? I think that a lot of it is how they treat other people as well. How their family brought them up and how they speak to people. Now, my ex, he was extremely rude to his mother and his sister, and it was unbelievable. They came to visit one time, and just the way that he spoke to them, I had to say something to him. I said, you know, please don't talk like that to your mom and your sister in front of our children, because they're going to think that it's okay. So financial abuse as well, not letting somebody have the money that, you know, they need, extreme control on finances.
Everything.
Those are just the beginning signs of the abuse. And, you know, it does happen to teenagers as well. Last month, in the month of February, it was Teen Violence Awareness Month. And I attended a seminar where 88% of parents do not think that domestic violence is an issue, or intimate partner violence is an issue in teenagers' lives.
Oh my goodness.
And 30% of teenagers will experience some type of intimate partner abuse and never report it.
Wow.
So, yeah,
wow.
I mean, it's out there and it's happening. And part of my platform is early identification and intervention.
Yes, early identification and intervention. Dora says the victim many times is embarrassed to admit they put up with that, with the fear of being seen as weak and allowing it to happen. Yeah, you see that a lot too, right, Jennifer?
Yes, I do. You know, and it is difficult now because I'm out in the public talking about this, and a lot of people know who my ex is. But to me, I'm strong enough to know what I can handle, because I've put up with a lot. And I do have a lot of support. I've always had a lot of support.
And you have Joel now too, who also provides a lot of support for you.
Yes, he's great.
Yeah, he was there the whole pageant. He was the brave man in the room. We had several
helping everybody else and move everybody's props around, and he was there. He never had experienced pageantry before, so he loved it. You know, he really enjoyed it, and I think it gave him a better understanding of what I have told him that I'm very passionate about. I mean, anybody that can stick with this for, you know, 20 plus years and keep going, and then try to get their kids involved. Since I do have 3 daughters, they're very excited. They do pageants as well, but because they want to, not because
you make them, right?
I don't need
it's a great esteem builder. It's really great to help you in a lot of areas. Interview, being able to present your platform in a way that really draws people in. There are a lot of benefits to being in the pageant, certain pageants, I should say.
Yeah,
I don't know all pageants.
No, I think that when they put a very heavy emphasis on platform and interview, those are the ones that are the most beneficial. I won interview in Women of Achievement, yay! But because of the pageantry that I have done throughout my life, I have been able to interview and obtain many jobs because of my ability to speak. You know, I'm pretty charismatic, so
you are. And I loved your talent, by the way. I wish I had a clip. I thought I had videotaped it, but I think I videotaped it on someone else's phone, because I was going to play a clip of it and I couldn't find it on my phone.
Well, I'm actually a violinist. I've played the violin since I was in elementary school.
Wow.
But I was going outside of my box, and I was a little concerned about the violin and the temperature changes. And, you know, I've had good and bad feedbacks regarding the violin. When I play, I've played all kinds of genres. So I've done fiddling and classical, and but I figured I would try to sing. I am not a vocalist. I get it. I know. So I was trying to make my little skit, my little animations that I did, and using my props to kind of make up for it.
It was hilarious. It was beautiful. And I love the courage it took for you to step up there and sing. I'm not a vocalist either, and I don't think I would get up there and sing. So tell us how people can get in touch with you if they want more information about your platform. How can they either help you or support you or get help that they need, or even just talk to you?
Yes, my public figure Facebook page is Ms. Elite United States. I was going to say Nevada because it used to be Nevada.
It used to be, for a long time, was Nevada.
Yes, it was. This is a little new. Ms. Elite United States Woman of Achievement, all spelled out, 2021.
It's going across the bottom.
And that is my Facebook page. And I am a member of a lot of other national groups for domestic violence. And so I will post postings that they have onto my page right there, make comments. You know, people can reach me directly through there, through Messenger. They can send me a message there. And I actually had 2 people when we were in Phoenix area approach me after my platform interview and tell me that they had, you know, a family member that they believed was in an abusive relationship and they wanted to get some help. So I have a pamphlet that I made for the pageant, and, you know, I would be happy to share or help anybody get connected up with any sort of resources that they need in their area. I will be taking the training for the Safe Nest, which is the only confidential shelter in Las Vegas, to go ahead and when I get down there to do some volunteer work for them, or just to broaden my knowledge of what some of the trainings are offered. Up here in Northern Nevada, they do have, our big one is Advocates to End Domestic Violence. And they're the shelter up here in Northern Nevada, and they have a really good training session, as well as training for a SARA, which is a sexual assault member, which would then assist a woman, if they had been sexually assaulted, to go to the hospital with them and sort of be their voice to help kind of talk between the doctor and the police and anybody else that might come there. That was on the books for last year, but because of COVID, they've had to put it off. So my goal is to, number one, get as much information as I can for myself so that then I can share it with others.
Wow. Yes, because I don't think domestic violence, or I should say it this way, I believe domestic violence touches everyone in some way or the other. It may not be you personally, because in my family alone, I know it has happened. My cousin's oldest daughter was killed by her husband in front of the children. So it happens. It's shocking, and silence is your greatest enemy. If you think being silent is helping the situation, it is creating a situation that is a tinderbox. You know, they didn't know all that was happening in that relationship until she was dead. So it's until she tried to get out, and he found where she was, and that's how she ended up getting killed. So get support, as much support around you as possible. And there is help.
And the important thing too is that you get your resources lined up, and because the most critical time frame is right when you make the decision that you're going to leave, and right after you left, because that's when they're the angriest. That's when a lot of tragedies do happen. So if you are, I mean, I had a plan when I was going to go. I knew what was occurring, and I had a plan. Unfortunately, he had thrown me across the driveway and tore cartilage in my knee. This was in front of my children. And I had to bump my plan up because I had to get out. I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to stay longer. And to this day, he'll tell you that it was all self-defense and that it was my fault. And because that's what he told the cops. He felt like he was in the right, and he wasn't. But it is important to have that plan, to make those resources available to people that need them, and to have a plan to get and follow through, because you can't go back. You go back and you've basically wiped out everything you've done. And I know a lot of women do that. They'll go and they'll file, and then they'll feel sorry, or they'll be scared, and then they'll go back with the person, and they do that multiple times. Well, eventually, you know, who's going to, the law enforcement is not going to help you anymore, because you keep going back. So it's important to know your plan, know your strengths, have your support, and go forward.
Yes. And Dora, I left this up because Dora said in South Florida, Women in Distress. In Palm Beach, it's AVDA for resources. Cindy asked if you can post resources for all if you can. So I'm just going to, again, share. It's very good info to spread. Thank you, Cindy. So go to her Facebook page It is Victim to Victor. Her Facebook page is Miss Elite United States Woman of Achievement 2021. To connect with Jennifer and get some information on what's happening in your state, where you are, and how they can, how you can get the help that you need and create that plan that she was talking about. So thank you so much. Jennifer, for being with us today. I'm so excited, and congratulations again. I don't know if you heard when I was screaming for you when I heard you won.
I was shocked too.
Congratulations. I love your crown. It is huge. Yes, it's a little different than mine for 2020, but Dora says thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dora. Thank you for being part of this conversation too, Dora, and sharing some great info. So for those of you, again, please reach out to Jennifer. It is there on Facebook, Miss MS Elite United States Woman of Achievement 2021. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Mwah.
Thank you, Alicia.
I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for your courage, your honesty, and your heart for helping everyone who has been or is in a situation of domestic violence. That is her platform. She is Miss Elite United States Woman of Achievement 2021. So let me queue up for thank you very much. Thank you very much on Facebook. So let me queue up for our next amazing guest. Give me 2 seconds and we'll be right back. Hello again, and welcome back to Small Business Saturday Shout Out. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and my next guest is all about diversity, inclusion, really helping all of us to succeed. And I am super excited to bring on as my guest, Leigh Lester. Let me tell you about Leigh. So Leigh is the founder and executive director of Ubuntu Institute of Learning, an international training organization focused on social justice issues ranging from diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging to entrepreneurship to affordable housing. Let me welcome to Small Business Saturday Shout Out, Miss Leigh Lester. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Alicia. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited that we finally got this going.
I know. It's been a minute. It was meant to be, right? It was meant to be.
We had Leigh scheduled a couple weeks ago. She had a conflict, couldn't make it in with us. And then yesterday you had a little bit of a tech situation happening.
Yeah. This weather was playing havoc on everybody.
Yes. But I'm super excited that everything's worked out and you're here because I really want to dig into this conversation, starting with Ubuntu yes. Institute of Learning. What does that mean?
So I spent some time in South Africa, and there is the word Ubuntu means I am because we are. And it's kind of similar to the American version of it takes a village, but they really live it. They really breathe it. You feel that sense of community, that sense of almost family, because we're in this human experience together. And it was so impactful that I knew when I came back to the States that that word was going to be involved in the work that I do here. So when it was time to open up the nonprofit, it was a no-brainer.
Wonderful. And in your bio, you talked about issues ranging from DEI all the way to entrepreneurship. How did you have this vision? What was your vision for all of it?
So it didn't start out as a holistic approach that I have now. I started my career in banking back in the 90s, I hate to say.
Why not?
Right,
Listen.
Long ago.
Oh, so much
You look
wisdom.
close
So
to see
much
the gray
wisdom.
hair, right? In the 90s. And right before the recession in 07, 08, I knew I wanted to transition and do more work in the nonprofit space. I had partnered with many nonprofits. I really love the work that they do. And so that's what I did. I started working as a director for a nonprofit housing organization and loved it. I was like, all right, this is the space I need to be in. And within that, I, have worked for national organizations doing affordable housing. I train nationally in the affordable housing space. And so I decided, I want to do this full time. How can I do this full time? So I decided to go back to school, get my doctorate. And a lot of my focus has been teaching nonprofit leaders how to be more entrepreneurial. And so in doing that, that's kind of led me to the entrepreneurship focus. And so I do that actually now. I work with leaders on a consulting basis, helping them to instill different strategies to generate revenue that's outside of the typical apply for a grant, the RFP I heard you speak earlier. Exactly. And those are great, but you don't want that to be your only source of revenue, right? Because that can dry up. You want something that can sustain you. And so in doing that, it was like, oh, well, but I'm here in Long Beach, California, and there are three very distinct groups that are under-resourced. So how can I lend my expertise in that area? And so I'm working with, and I love Long Beach because it's so collaborative. So there's a bunch of us together looking at how we can bring entrepreneurship mindset, entrepreneurship education, mentorship, funding, access to resources. I've been very vocal about if we're going to do it, we need to do it right. We need to make sure people have a pathway to success. So the whole government contracting is a part of that program. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait till that rolls out. And the DEI space, it's funny, I get asked that a lot. And I've often been the one in the room. And I know you know what I mean when I say the one in the room. I'm the one woman. I'm the one Black person. Sometimes I'm the one Black female. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I'm comfortable with that uncomfortableness because I'm so used to it. And at this age, I don't mind speaking out.
Listen, being there and showing up is so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. And yes, when you're the only one in that room, it feels like, why aren't more of us in here? What is going on here? And you can start investigating into that. But just having the confidence in yourself to stand in that room and say, yeah, I belong here.
Absolutely. And that's so important. That's why I add the B to my focus with the work is the belonging is important because I've been the token in the room without really giving the voice. And so now I learned that I have to take the voice and I do. But I mean, I can, there's a way to do it, but I love doing that because I remember as a younger person, I was in the room quiet. And I'm not quiet anymore because I hope to be able to teach others how not to be quiet. Because
we're get in the room and how to make some noise in the room.
And make access for others to, that's the thing. You bring one on board.
That path. Create the path for others to follow.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So that's a lot what I do with the DEI. I'll speak on it. I do consulting work as well, but I really enjoy being the voice on the board, giving voice to the under-resourced community, people who don't typically have a voice. So I'm passionate. So I love what I do. I say I don't work at all, but I work all the time. You know what I mean?
You work exactly. Right? You're always working because your passion is driving and fueling this.
Absolutely.
Do you come across a lot of businesses or companies that are just giving lip service to the narrative?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I call them out when I get an opportunity because I think, if last summer taught us nothing is we can't sit on this and be quiet. You can't, a colleague of mine told me recently, you can't sit on the fence anymore. You got to pick a side. Either you got to be anti-racist or you're racist, one or the other. You got to say, look, this is not right. So companies, I was on a call a couple weeks ago with a Fortune 200 company and international company, and they were talking, they had 4 people in this one department working on DI, and really had no strategy, no ideas, but, oh, they do community service work. And I was like, okay, you're not serious. Next.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things I'm working with the National Diversity Council to actually create a certification program that would kind of like lead certification. So other minorities, other women can go, let me check this company out. And they can go, all right, they're the phase 2, but they're moving to phase 3. I can see they're at least trying. Like, I think that's all we want. We want to see some effort.
We're going to see somebody
actually,
actually making action.
Exactly.
On Facebook, we have a comment, playing it forward is so important. Paying it forward is so important, especially for those of us who find ourselves, who are the one in the room.
Absolutely. Yeah. And networking, right? We have to support each other. I'm a part of a group called the Women Who Lead, and I mentor nonprofit entrepreneurs coming up, but they also do philanthropy, they do investing, and it's like we network together very intentionally, you know, so we can make access for each other.
Yes, that is so vital to make access for each other.
Like you're doing here right now.
Like, exactly.
Yeah,
you know, building that platform for others to stand on, even without our previous guest, having the courage to be the one to step forward and say, you know, things need to change. We need to take action. How has your institute grown in the last year with everything that has been going on with COVID and then with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything? How has that things shifted?
Well, you know, it's interesting because prior to COVID, I focused a lot of my work on affordable housing issues and training. And I traveled around the country doing that. And that filled a lot of my time. I would do one-off consulting in the other areas and slowly building the entrepreneurship program. But my focus was a lot on affordable housing. Since COVID, though, and I'm the consummate entrepreneur, and I was fortunate to have a grandmother, knock on wood, who was bad about it, if you know what I mean. Like, she had a storefront, she had real estate. So I never thought I couldn't be an entrepreneur because my grandma did it. And so when COVID happened, it was just a pivot. It's like, all right, well, I can't travel and train. What next? What can I do? What can I do to generate revenue? Take an inventory of my skill set and what's needed in the marketplace. And so immediately I just started reaching out to my network. Like, I love LinkedIn. I'm a power linker. I'm on it quite often, and I'm making connections with people. And I'm like, how can we collaborate? I love collaborating. So I think there's enough work for all of us to do it. So I'll never be the one going, oh, I can't tell you about this grant because I want it for myself.
Oh my gosh.
That will not be me.
Let me tell you, I am loving everything you're saying. And I hope people are really paying attention to that, because you talked about this not having a victim mentality. Okay, COVID didn't hit you. It hit everybody. Right? Everybody. The whole world shut down. So I am not the one who plays into this whole, oh, well, everything shut down and my business shut down. You know, immediately as the entrepreneur, you're like, what can I do? What is needed? Where can I move to? What can I show up for? And let me check my network and see how I can connect with somebody, how I can help. I love it. So guys, this is Small Business Saturday Shout Out. We're all small business owners. What skill set do you have? I always talk about that. Your tags. What are your talents, your assets, your gifts, and your skills? What can you use? Take what you have and use it. You may have to think a little bit about how can I use it differently. But the benefit and the value of being an entrepreneur is knowing how you can depend on you to make things work.
Exactly.
How can I take who I am and what I am and turn that into money?
Yes, yes.
So, love everything that you're sharing. What can someone do? And let me just put up your contact information, because what can someone do if they wanted to get involved with your institute?
Oh, just reach out to me. I'm very accessible. I live by my calendar. My friends and family will attest to that, although my family give me grief because they're like, Leigh just sent me a calendar invite. I was like, if it doesn't get on my calendar, then that time will get booked. But yeah, I really love, I've gotten very clear and intentional on what my skills are. So, and the good thing about that is when I come across someone who wants to collaborate in a way that doesn't suit me, I will happily refer them to someone else. So, and that's, to me, I get just as much pleasure out of that. I don't get just as much money, but I get just as much pleasure.
I know.
And it comes back, right? It comes back anyway.
Back.
So you can't worry about that. But I love connecting people. So oftentimes I will go, oh, you need to meet this person and you guys should have some synergy there. So yes, please go to my website or email me at leigh@ubuntulearn.org. I'm pretty responsive, but give me a couple days. I'm trying to do more self-care because when I say I work a lot, oh my God, Alicia, I've done more all-nighters in the last 12 months than I ever did in years and years of college. Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm trying to get a little more work-life balance there. But yeah, I love that. Please reach out. Let's ideate. That's fun for me. Let's come up with some ideas and see what we can get off the ground. Absolutely.
So what exactly is the Institute of Learning, just so that I don't get so far off the purpose of us here, and who is it for?
So Ubuntu was created to as proof of concept to my nonprofit clients that you can generate revenue as a nonprofit. The 501c3 is a tax status that says you can't pay dividends, but you can earn revenue and invest it back in your organization, which then helps you increase capacity, helps you pay your staff a decent wage, et cetera, et cetera. So I figured I can't teach this and share this unless I'm doing it myself. And so it's basically a business to business training organization that works with nonprofit leaders predominantly, but also with adding on the diversity and equity. I've opened that up to for-profit corporations. And so as it's training, but at the end of the day, it's all to empower under-resourced communities. Like everything I do, even what I do that might sound more for-profit focused, it's so I can take that money and put it in a program for under-resourced. Like we're looking at rolling out Sister to Sister, which is a 3-month women of color coaching program designed for us by us. And the idea is, women of color were the largest growing demographic of entrepreneurs before COVID. And we've been the most impacted. We're the most laid off. We're the most unemployed right now. Now, we pivot. Women of color have been doing that for a long time. We're like natural entrepreneurs. We're like, okay, I can't get $1 over here. I'm gonna go get $1 over there. So I wanted to make sure there was some support for us. So I'm working on that. And so I would love anybody who wants to either participate, also maybe participate as a guest, a featured speaker. I think it's really important. Representation matters. So great. I'm so excited. I will put you down, Alicia. Or I should say, email me. I got to follow my process.
I got to get on your calendar.
Put you in that folder. And we're going to support, we're going to create our own sense of community and help lift each other up. But we got to do it. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Now, is the program only in California?
No, actually, the Women of Color is national. I do the entrepreneurship program is focused in Long Beach because it's a beta test. And the idea is once we get it all fine tuned, then we'll roll it out or we'll share it with other communities so they can do it in their own communities. Because we're looking at, we're trying to have all the pieces, right? The mentorship, the funding, access, not only to loans, but to grant money as well. Because in our communities, we don't have a whole lot of money. So putting somebody in debt for an idea is just not a smart move for them. So they're less likely to try. And we're creative. When I lived in South Africa, we saw entrepreneurs left and right. And it really was like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, we've been entrepreneurs since day one. Yeah. And somehow we've gotten away from that. And I think if we get back to that, then we can start, how did Tyler Perry say? We're going to create our own table to sit at. We're not going to ask to sit at somebody else's table. So that's what I want. That's my legacy right there. I want to help us create our own tables.
Create our own tables, set our own stages, our own platforms. Yeah. Is there anything else that I did not share? Going across, that's a LinkedIn profile, guys. You can connect with Leigh on LinkedIn if you want to be a part of this movement. of
Yes.
helping underserved communities, helping see women rise, helping minority women rise. Please connect with Leigh on LinkedIn. So is there anything that you want to share as we close out this interview that I have not asked you about that you really want to share with people?
Sure. One thing on the affordable housing side that I've been pretty passionate about and involved on the advocacy side is homelessness. And we know with the pandemic that, once the moratoriums are lifted and the forbearances are lifted, that a lot of folks are going to be, we're hoping the government will have some sort of safety net and plan, but we can't bank on that. So I would say as much as you can, if you're in that position, contact a housing counselor. They can go to HUD.gov to find a local housing counselor. Be proactive. Find out now, because there are resources coming down, especially with this most recent stimulus. There's resources for you, but don't wait till the last minute because the money's going to go quick. So I would say be proactive. Let's try to keep families together and not on the street.
That's great. So HUD.gov.
Yes.
So I'm just going to add that so that people can see that. So go to HUD.gov and look for housing
counselor. Housing counselor specifically.
Housing counselor specifically.
Yeah. You Google, go in the search bar and put that in. It'll pull up a map where you can find somebody local to you. And I mean, if you're having a challenge, just email me and I'll connect you.
And this is her email again. It is hello@ubuntulearn.org. Yes. So connect with Leigh. She is an amazing woman doing amazing things. And again, it's Women's History Month. So she is making history and making a difference. Thank you so much, Leigh, for coming on and sharing with us. I really, really, truly appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
And I will be one of your speakers.
All right, Ubuntu.
Anything I can do, let me know. All right.
Will do.
Thank you. Wow, wow, wow. What a powerful message. I really, really enjoyed sharing this platform with these amazing women. Leigh is doing things in her community that is going to have more than just a ripple effect. It's going to expand in such a way that she's not even going to know the value of the work that she's done generations to come. So again, if you want to be a part of this growth, connect with Leigh, send her an email at hello@ubuntulearn.org. Get involved with this. This movement is amazing. And again, you're watching Small Business Saturday Shout Out with me, your host, Alicia Couri, and my two guests today, Jennifer Hockaday, who spoke so bravely about domestic violence and the effects of domestic violence and how you can get help. So you can reach out to Jennifer. To connect with her, you can go to facebook.com/Miss Elite United States Woman of Achievement 2021. And if you are interested in finding out more about Ubuntu Learning Institute, Ubuntu Institute of Learning with Leigh Lester, and be a part of the movement for affordable housing in underserved communities or diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, please reach out to Leigh and show your support. Find ways that we can reach out and help. This is what Small Business Saturday is all about. So now let me just give you some quick reminders. Next week is next Monday. What did I say? Next Monday. Oh, Dora said she sent you a message on LinkedIn to connect. Thank you, Dora. I will connect you to you on LinkedIn as soon as I come out of here. As soon as this wraps up, I'll connect with you, Dora, on LinkedIn as well. So Monday. What do we have going on Monday? We have a special, I'm trying to find it here, masterclass on social selling. If you want to know more how you can get more clients, how you can get leads, get clients, close more clients using social media, come join my expert guest, Lorenzo Johnson, Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Small Business Saturday Shout Out. If you're not a member of the group, please go join the group now, facebook.com/groups/SBSSO. go join the group so you can be a part of the master classes. Thank you. That's your author name. Thank you, Dora. So join the group. And again, if you're on YouTube, go like our YouTube page, subscribe to YouTube. I'm really trying to grow this YouTube channel so I can get more information out to more people. So go subscribe and share this out, share this broadcast out with others. Would really appreciate it so that we can spread this message further and wider. So for me, oh, and don't forget our networking event coming up on the 30th. Put that in your calendar. Put it on your calendar, like Leigh said, on March 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 6 to 8. We're going to do some networking. So, because that's what helped. It's helped a lot of businesses during the pandemic to know who's in their network and be able to make some collaborations and share. So your network is very, very, very important. So let's get together and network. So this again is Alicia for Small Business Saturday Shout Out. I'm your host. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. And you know I love you. And I will see you next week for another Small Business Saturday Shout Out. Maybe you want to shout out your business. So message me so you can come on and shout out your business. Send me a message. All right. That's it for me. I'll see you later. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. And goodbye.